Oh my gosh. Finally, I guess I've been off for a while. I feel a little rusty, but like Sam said, it's like riding a bike. So let's see if I fall off a couple of times. But thank you for tuning into the Bearded Browns podcast. What we have on the dock today is obviously the big news from yesterday, Deshaun Watson. And then we're going to get into some game chatter, this Dolphins matchup. And then what we're going to do is talk about the injury report. And then if we have enough time, we're going to talk about, do we really have an offensive line issue, or is it just a scheme issue? And then 5 good questions. But before we get into all that wonderful content for you today, please go over there and enable notifications on YouTube. Like and subscribe us. Like and subscribe. See, I'm stumbling. Like and subscribe with us on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram to stay updated on our latest content. Also, follow us on Discord, where we will have in-chat game chatter, but we might, I don't know what's going to go on the next 2 weeks. We probably just protest because this team is so horrible. But huge shout out to our incredible partners, CB Excavating. If you have any excavating needs, such as underground utilities, you need some video camera inspection, if you need stone driveways installed, septic tank repairs or installs, sanitary sewers or water lines, waterproofing, or even drainage issues, give them a call for a free estimate. Their number is 216-870-4026. They are licensed and bonded and insured. And if you do call them, please let them know that we sent you over there to get a quote. And secondly, if you need some money, save some money this coming up year, call Doug White from Allstate Insurance, where he can save you big money on your insurance policies. Again, if you call Doug White, let him know we sent you. Finally, that is all done. Hello, fellas. It's been a minute.
Hola.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I talked to you guys in text, obviously, but I haven't seen you guys on the screen in a couple of weeks, and appreciate that. Allowed me to get away for a little bit. You know, with family coming, well, a new kid coming, it's kind of rough to prioritize some things. And I went to Columbus, and it was fun. Maybe I'll talk about that later. But what is everyone talking about right now, Mike? It is this guy named Deshaun Watson. Have you ever heard of him?
Nope. Can't say that I
have. I heard that we signed him. I think he's only played 9 games, and he signed big money. But anyways, the Browns restructured his contract, hoping, I'm supposedly believe from what I'm reading, aiming to ease the future salary cap burden, signaling that the quarterback will still be on this team next year. Now, a lot of people are upset about that because they were hoping that he wouldn't. Are you guys upset?
They got to do something to still have it work out. You just, as much as I would just like to dry eraser him off the whole picture, you can't do that. So they're doing what they can do right now to consolidate some of the funds, transfer them, so we still get rid of some of the dead cap space, and we'll see how it works out, man. You know, I like it. I wish we could, like I said, dry erase them and bye-bye, or, you know, and but there's legalities and there's things you got to do. So they're doing it, but I don't know. I'm hoping that we pick up a decent quarterback this year, a veteran guy, and try to see if we can pull some of this back together without even mentioning his name, honestly.
True. Mike?
mean, there's a couple options as of right now. I don't think anybody as a Cleveland fan wants to see Deshaun Watson on the field. It's kind of in black and white. Like, it's set in stone. Nobody wants to see him on the field. I've even been hearing on the radio that nobody wants him in the practice facility or the stadium, to be honest. So, I mean, at this point, the guy has a big contract that's signed, and that's set in stone, and there's no getting away from that unless somebody wants to trade for him, which is highly unlikely going to happen. So at this
maybe
point,
we could get lucky and they just feel bad for us, and which I highly doubt. But you know, the adjusted contract allows the Browns to spread the dead cap space over the next 2 years instead of taking it all in 2027. If Watson was to stay on the team through 2026, that is, I think that's I think they're trying to. I think the writing's on the wall, and I think we talked about it when Barry's press conference and he was asked about him, and he went from saying, "Oh, he's going to be here for the next 7 years," to We have to see what we're going to do with that situation. And so I think, writing was on the wall then. I think they're trying their best to not have him on the team, maybe have him on the team, but I don't see him dressing next year. I don't see him, like Mike said, I don't think they even want him around. Now, this is all speculation, of course. We could totally be wrong, obviously, but it just seems like this team just doesn't, maybe not the team, but the organization just doesn't want him in Berea right now, which is crazy to think. A couple of years ago, they signed this guy to this massive contract, and you were a quarterback away. And now you're like, well, we have a quarterback. Now we need a quarterback. So we'll see what happens. So what does this exactly mean, Mike, as far as the contract, as far as the cap hit, all this other stuff? What does that exactly mean?
From the way I look at it, it almost extends him another year in payment. I actually sent you guys the note yesterday, and I'm trying to
okay.
pull it up. Let's see.
Yeah,
Here.
I have it.
I got it right here too. It means it allows the Browns to spread out Deshaun Watson's 2027 dead salary cap hit. Dead cap is a guaranteed money that has been paid to a player but has not been accounted for by the team. It has nothing to do with his actual salary. He is owed $92 million and will get $92 million. However, the Browns still have $172.5 million to account for against their salary cap. That looks like this currently. 2025, $46 million. Minus $72.935 million cap hit. 2026, the same thing, $46 million and the 72, almost $73 million cap hit. Then 2027, $26.8 million dead cap hit. Now the Browns are going to take a $73 million cap hit in 2025 or in 2026. So they will, or what they will have to do to restructure his deal each year, which means they'll lower his $46 million salary to the NFL minimum base salary, which is about $1.255 million, and then convert what is left into a signing bonus. Watson will still get paid his $46 million over the course of the season, but when the Browns do this, that pushes out the salary cap hit to further years. And when they do this in 2025 and 26, the new cap hits will look like this. 2025, $46 million with a $37 million cap hit, not 73. 2026, he'll get his $46 million. And my grandfather's calling me. Decline. Sorry, Grandpa. 2026, $46 million. Then we'll take a $46 million cap hit as well. In 2027, we'll hit $89.5 million in dead cap, and it's a huge hit. But so now we're back to what happened today. The Browns added a 1-year Watson deal with no money. Therefore, instead of Watson being off the books in 2027, his new deal puts him on the roster. So now when you get to that $89.5 million of dead cap hit, the Browns now can spread out the 2 years by making Watson a post-June 1st release. Thus, instead of taking the huge cap hit in year one, gives flexibility, and all this plays out exactly like this. 2025, $46 million with a $37 million cap hit. 26 will be $46 million cap hit. 2027, $35.9 million cap hit. And then 2028 will be $43.6 million cap hit.
So it seems like they're trying to spread this out as much as they can so they can pay minimum as far as salary cap hit each year. So I wonder if they're going to continue to just reconstructure every year so they're eventually go down to less and less and less. So where we'll be 90 and it'll still be talking about, hey, does Brown spread the Deshaun Watson's contract another 5 years?
Yeah.
So now they only owe $10 million. But the good thing is the salary cap review in the NFL goes up. So as the salary goes up, these numbers won't look as gaudy as they look currently. So when I see that, I see, that's why we have Andrew Berry, because that dude is just messing with those numbers to make sure it fits well enough to where they can still do enough with what they have and still get the talent that they need to acquire to be a competitive team.
But at the same token, man, quit playing games with my money.
They still have to pay the guy, so they're just
Yeah.
stretching it out. I mean, and you made it kind of funny comment, and I'll bring it up too, man. This guy's gonna be sitting in a nursing home somewhere eating Jello, still getting checks from the Browns at this point. But you got to spread that out. So seems like a great move that they did just to spread that out. So we don't have to pay a bulk of money at the right away. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like what the Dogs podcast posted, and I'll give him credit for it. He said the biggest takeaway, and something that I find encouraging, a lot of people thought with the Miles Garrett comment, him saying that if they tank, I'm bouncing. Or if they plan on tanking or starting over, I'm going to bounce. He said the biggest takeaway of all this is the Browns clearly aren't planning to rebuild or to tear down a roster to studs. If they weren't expecting to have high paid contracts on the roster, they would just eat the cap over the next 2 years and be done. So I agree. I think this year, and I know I see a lot of people on Facebook. They're like, "Oh, this sucks." But they don't really know if they lean on, like, I like to lean on the experts. Like, you laugh. My wife just said, "Love the new Browns gear." Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. She's supposed to be working. She's a therapist, honey. Be therapying people.
She is. She's watching us. This is therapy for a lot of people.
Therapy, right? No, but I think it's just encourage. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, the Browns." I'm like, well, he's trying to find his way out of this mess. Even like, we can argue whose fault it is, right? It could be not Kevin's, but it could be Andrew or D Podesta or the owners. Who cares? At this point, I think they see the writing on the wall and they're like, we need to correct this somehow.
Yeah. Ken McDonald says if you restructure, the quarterback train's coming through. If you restructure, you cash pay for 2025, and you can spread it into void years, which means the years he won't be here, we'll be paying him, but he'll be gone.
Yeah. And most likely the team doesn't have to bring it up. So, well, if we're winning, we're in a new stadium winning, then fans are going to be like, yeah, that was a horrible decision for 4 years, as opposed to like, he's still on the team. This guy sucks. He's not even playing. Or if he is playing, he's horrible. I mean,
that's why I wore the shirt today too, just to piss everybody off. Like, around and find out.
Yeah. I mean, we need a Flacco quarterback around here next year to help us out. But yeah, so I think this is a good thing. It's clearly they have a plan, a game plan. Obviously, they've been talking about this plan, if not since the injury. Hopefully, since the injury, they realize that they messed up, and it's encouraging to see. Or for me as a fan, I'm just speaking for me as a fan, to see an organization realizing that they messed up, and they're trying their best to fix it. Now, hopefully it can lead to more wins next year, but we'll see.
So there's a couple scenarios obviously being talked about right now. Kirk Cousins being the biggest one for coming to Cleveland, and there's the Derek Carr thing as a bridge quarterback. I don't know how trustworthy I would be of Kirk Cousins. I love Kirk Cousins. Man, like he's great. He's a great guy. It'd be like Joe Flacco coming back, is in my opinion.
He's got interception issues too. That's what kind of worries me about. But who doesn't in the NFL right now, really? I mean, but we need to go in some type of direction, and getting a veteran type guy in here again and trying to build around that. I don't know. We got draft. Yeah, I'm like really curious to see what happens here in the next, I would say 3 weeks. We got 2 games left. I'm really waiting for that chopping block. I want to hear like a week after our season's over, this has got chopped off, this got chopped off, and then we can see where we're going, what direction we're heading in. So,
yeah. And speaking of what you brought up about the backup quarterbacks, or not backup, bridge quarterbacks, do you see yourself, Watson, wanting to be on a team knowing that they brought in someone to compete with him?
Yeah, I'm going to be first on this one. You don't have a choice. You signed a 5-year deal with guaranteed money. Your ass is going to be either sitting on the sideline or playing until you get injured again. That's just the inevitable. That's how this game works. Whether or not, if you don't want to do that, then leave. It's fine. But like I think it was Sam said yesterday, watch him just come here and ball out or it was one of you guys.
Chad. Yeah, it was Chad.
Yeah, it was Chad. So watch him just come here and ball out this year. And if you can do it. That's what we've all been asking for. But until then, you're garbage right now. So I'm just done.
I'm devious, bro. I would say I would sit down with one of the players, and then when they're in training camp and practice, I would look at one of them. I'm not going to point out no names. I'd be like, if you get the chance, sweep the leg. Do us a favor, sweep the leg. We don't need this guy.
You asking him to Karate Kid him, huh?
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg.
Oh man,
yeah, that's just
that's funny.
I'm devious like that. I'm tired of the guy. I'm tired of talking about the guy. He's a cancer to this team, and everybody knows it. And they're trying to remedy the chemotherapy to get this guy out of here, and it can't come fast enough.
Yeah, I agree. The reason why I asked that question is because I don't think he's going to want to compete. So I think he's just going to. My thought is he's going to just sit out. I think this injury will just linger for him. He'll be like, yeah, it came back, setback in my therapy. Can't play for another 2-3 weeks. I'll be surprised. My point is, I'll be surprised if he puts on another Browns uniform. If they decide, which I think they are, if they decide to go with a bridge quarterback to compete against them, I'll be very shocked. I've actually been saying that since that Barry press conference. I just don't see him wearing a Browns uniform again. Hopefully he comes in and balls out, but at the same time, it's like, is it going to be good enough? Is it going to be a year where you just ball out just to prove us wrong, and then the next year after that you're going to suck again? Or
here's the thing, like Brandon said, trying their best to fix the wrong would bring in somebody to ruffle Watson's feathers, and Cousins and Stefanski have history. But my thing is you see it, man. You watch it with a new quarterback in here, minus DTR, obviously.
yeah,
The morale of the whole team changes. It's different. Everybody steps up and plays. It's just like they don't want to play for Watson. I don't know what it is, but they just look miserable on the field, man. I don't get it.
You definitely see more camaraderie with the team when there's somebody else getting that ball out. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer. We've seen it we got to see it 5 different times last year. I mean, we had some guys filling in, but it's time. I wish we could just move this chapter and just keep, but we're stuck here, and there's guaranteed money, and I hope they learned a valuable lesson within that, and hats off to his agent.
yeah.
Thanks, man. You are the man.
His agent got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll end that here. Like you said, I think there's going to be more news coming out. I think they'll probably adjust this contract even more later on. But like I said, I think this is a good move. I think this is a good positive step forward to us no longer seeing Watson in a Browns uniform, which is what 99.9%. Believe it or not, there's still that 1% that still wants Watson to play. Believe it or not, I see it not all the time, because it'll be more than 1%, but I see it occasionally when I post stuff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what are those Steelers fans?
No.
1%. Got to be Steelers fans. Crazy. Quick shout out to my buddy Brendan Minnick over here chiming in too. We appreciate it, brother. Keep the comments coming.
My wife said my client did not show, so thank you to that client for still paying $70 for a no show. Also,
she's our client today.
Yeah.
We need therapy. Help us out here.
She sent us 200 stars on Facebook, so appreciate that. Thank you guys for commenting in the feed. On to something more important than Deshaun Watson. It is this game this Sunday at 4 p.m. down at Huntington Bank Field. The Browns take the field against those Miami Dolphins, guys. We thought it was going to be a cold one. We thought we had a shot to win. I thought this was going to ruin our playoff seeding. But obviously, Mother Nature have different plans. She must be a Browns fan in which wants the Browns to tank. So she gives us 60 in rain. What do you guys take on this weather? Weird, huh?
Oh, I thought you said tank. Take. You said take. I got you. Yeah, tank. Just go out there and look good while you do it. I mean, keep it a close game. Give us something to look forward to next year. I've been saying that the last 3 weeks. So
I'm tank in the tank. All right, you know what I'm saying? Tank in the fish tank, bro. Let's we bring in another kicker. We were talking about this earlier. This would be
Yeah.
like when people always say that's the most Brownsest thing you can do. This kicker will come out here and kick a 62-yard freaking field goal and win by 3. I'm gonna lose my mind. So I feel if I get that out, the football gods will please not have that happen, please.
It'd be like the reverse effect. Like, you normally when a kicker wins a game-winning field goal, he has beer for life. This guy would be kicked out of bars because he hit the game-winning field goal. Fans would be he'll be rioting.
He'll be banned from Ohio.
Ken
Like,
just
why?
said, put the Bengals game on and hit repeat.
Yeah, basically. So we're on to injury news, in-game news here. David Njoku, he is out. Most likely these people who are out now will probably be out for the rest of the season, considering there's only one more game after this. David Njoku's out. Cedric Tillman, the concussion concern is very concerning. I think that's his, 4th, 5th week being out. And I was hoping that he would come in and get more, just even if it's DTR. I know him and DTR had a connection, but just get more field time, more routes, more reps, but he's most likely out for the year. Obo is out with a knee for the remaining of the year, unfortunately for him. On the good news on the injury front, JOK, Mary Kate Cabot said linebackers coach Jason Tavern said Jeremiah Amusa Kormoras stays involved by texting in the linebacker thread all the time, offers some tips to younger linebackers. We are all rooting for him as he travels around to different doctors, trying to get everything he needs in his recovery.
He's a young guy, man. The guy's 25 years old. You know, it's beyond football when somebody is out for that period of time. For me, as you know, I want the kid to be healthy and successful, and not like something that's gonna ruin a young man's life, you know, with a neck injury like that. So I'll keep him in prayers, man. We missed him a lot this year. He's one of my favorites on that team. I just like his aggression, his nose down and get at it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm hoping he gets everything he needs and then possibly make a comeback for himself, man.
Yeah, it was funny when we did the Pittsburgh live party. Sam had a number 6 jersey on, and everybody's like, "Is he wearing a Mayfield jersey?" Like,
yeah.
No.
Y'all ain't up to date, man. Come on, Browns fans. Numbers change, brother.
I actually thought that too when he came out. I was like, "Why is he wearing a Baker jersey?" And then I realized when I looked, I'm like, "That's right, JOK is in the 6." I often forget JOK's number, though he's probably one of the best players on defense. Yeah,
Next time I'll wear the jersey
backwards. So give people a heads up and then flip it backwards.
Remember when it was, who was it? Wide receiver had number 4, and then Deshaun Watson came in. Was it Walker? Anthony Walker, maybe? Had number 4. Watson came in and gave him a Rolex for giving him number 4.
Oh.
And Watson wore number 4 9 times since.
Yeah.
That guy's like, I got a Rolex for that, dog.
You could have that number.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's a little fact too. He has not had a 300-yard game. Flacco's came in. Winston's came in. They see it. They can get it.
Has he had a 200-yard game?
I think he had a 200 plus. I don't know.
I'll be happy with the 250 right now, man. But forget 300.
Winston pulled it off.
That's crazy.
Flacco pulled it off, and he has yet to have that pinnacle of that 300-yard game. I mean, that just tells you right there. There's proofs in the pudding, man.
Yeah, it's.
I know Basuda when I see it. So garbage.
Horrible. So we're up against the Miami Dolphins. So the question is, who are the Miami Dolphins? Well, let's talk about their offense first, right? So when you look at their offensive numbers, you kind of see a comparison to our Cleveland Browns. Well, not really offensively, but they are not meeting expectations. Or some the Tua injury got them suffering early. They seem to be getting healthy on their offensive line the last couple of games. So they seem to be playing a little better because of that. Tua's injury, the offensive line injury, has kept them inconsistent. but their points per game is ranked 23rd with 20. Their total yards is 327 per game, which is 17th in the league. Passing game is 222, which is mid road 15. The rushing game is where it sucks at for them, which is they're ranked 24 with 105 yards per game. So their offense isn't too scary, but we've seen it many times and we've seen this all year, where I sit there and be like, their offense is average. Their offense is just like us, and then they put up like 30 points.
Ken just said they're gonna jet sweep us to death.
Oh yeah, they will.
As long as we don't jet sweep, I don't care. Like I don't want to see any jet sweeps on our end.
Yeah, they might. Well, we might have to try to jet sweep to generate offense, because DTR can't seem to. Either he's scared to hit the open receiver downfield, or he's just not seeing anybody downfield, which is concerning either way.
He still can't get nothing 15 more. He can't get nothing 15 yards down the field still. He's zero at that. He's goose egged. He's 0-11 for that, with 3 interceptions on top of that after 15 yards. So we got that going for us in the fish tank.
Tanking with the Dolphins.
I hate to say that as a Browns fan. I always wanted to be competitive, man, but this whole season has just been a debauchery, man. And I just want to get out of it without any more players getting hurt. Move on, get to the chopping block. I want to see some of these who's gone, who's here, and let's get it going. I'm looking more forward to the offseason, and that's I had a better time watching them when they were on 16 in this crap we've been watching this year. So
at least we had a nice parade after that.
That's the most Browns thing to do. I did not partake.
I was gonna say, did you guys go to that?
No,
it wasn't a lot of people. I remember marching around the stadium, which was kind of comical in a way. So Miami's defense, as of the 26th of this month, they're ranked 15th, allowing 329 yards per game. Their defense is ranked, passing defense is ranked 15th. Their rushing defense is ranked 16th. Their scoring defense, which they allow 22 points per game. Encouraging, because they're ranked 23rd.
If we could do that.
Yeah, we can't even get close to that. We didn't even, well, we did. We just missed the extra point.
You just took the words out of my mouth, Mike. I couldn't get it in there fast enough. We can't even score. We can't even get an extra point after our touchdown. So let's hold the horses. Keep on doing it, guys. You're doing great right now. With me, you're doing great right now.
We'll get down there. We'll just turn the ball over in the end zone, right?
Right at the goal line.
Right at the goal line, or in the red zone, which is encouraging, because their defense, the opponent scored touchdowns 48% of the time. 48% of the time, every time they're in the red zone.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so the odds are Browns can score against this defense.
My thing was with I'm going to retract to the Bengals game. Our big thing was their defense is not that good. We should be able to get some movement. We should be able to run the ball. And we made their defense, to me, in my eyes, I only watched the halftime. I had some other things to do. And I listened to it on the radio, and I will say it again. They sounded just as bad as they looked before I left. So expectations were we should be able to move the ball, score some points, which obviously that didn't happen. And we made their defense look like a top NFL defense on us. I'm like, what parallel universe are we in? Their defense has been crap all year, and now how we make them look stellar. I'm like, well, let's keep on chugging, man. Thanks, Browns. Thanks, Browns.
Ken says, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm going to hit these 2 comments. Ken said, we never recovered from last year's injuries, and I agree. And Sean says, DTR, another Barry talent evaluation miss, which is, man.
What is he talking about?
DTR. It's just another miss.
DTR.
I'm like, you had 3 years.
I mean, he was a 5th round pick, so I didn't think he was going to come in and be like, I was going to say Deshaun Watson, but he is playing just as good as Deshaun Watson. I didn't expect him to come in and be like even Jameis Winston-ish. He just hasn't. You could sit there and say the player development is concerning, because you're starting to see, and I hate to bring this up, Cade York is kicking pretty well in Cincinnati. Now, is that because he's just Cade York? He's going to do that and then fall off, but maybe he found a home in Cincinnati. We'll see here in the next couple of years. But yeah, their player development is concerned. That's the only thing I would say under this coaching regime and organization is I wish they would develop players. I was going to say a lot quicker, but some players are different. But then again, you look at Mike Hall, who's doing pretty well right now, and Reed, who's doing pretty well right now. All those are his draft picks. Now, what sucks for Hall is that he got a late start, and I think he would have shown improvement if he wouldn't have gotten into trouble. But yeah, DTR, I didn't expect. Did you guys expect him to be?
I'll say this. I think DTR coming in as the 5th draft pick, that type of pick to me is to see if you might have a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you take a chance on that just to see. Okay. So I think that was one of those type of picks. All right. So, because you never know, he could have been stellar, but right now he's not shining too bright. Like you said, maybe player development. I don't know. But that's how I look at it. I kind of think that this year's draft also, I really don't see us picking in a 1st round quarterback. I don't. I see where I see our problems is we need to pick up O-line guys, defensive tackle, and then maybe another down the road quarterback pick to see if you might have another diamond in the rough, and you never know what might come out of that. So that's my focus. That's my ideas on that. So.
Well, damn, you just answered one of the questions for the end of the show.
It's all good. You can re-answer it.
I'm kidding. I'm not
you can say, hey guys, rewind it. But the weakness of the Dolphins, their primary offensive weakness is their rushing attack. Despite having the strong passing game, their running game is ranked 24th. We just talked about that. Their defensive weakness is that they struggle keeping opponents out of the end zone. Obviously, all those seem to be strengths for our team. Like we don't have a rushing attack and we don't score. So you read up ahead, you're like, wow, yeah, I think we might actually win. This is gonna suck because it's gonna blow our tankathon. But then you read everything that they're weak in, and then you realize, yeah, we're weak in that too. So that gives Miami a shot.
A big weakness for the Dolphins is Tyreek Hill's pullout game. That's a crucial part of this as a mental thing for men. You know,
that's a lot. All right. That's a good one there, Mike. You got your little jab in there. That was a pretty good one there. That was a good one.
Angel.
Sorry, I almost died. Hold on.
Are you trying to keep up with what's my guy's name? What's the other guy's name?
Tua Tagliabue. Oh,
no, I don't know.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. He tried to keep up with Nick Cannon, man. Oh.
Yeah. Whew. I almost drowned. I almost drowned. Yeah. So yeah, this game should be. It's concerning. I mean, I hate the fact that I'm rooting for a higher draft pick right now, but it is what it is. Right now, you're 5th. What's encouraging is you have Tennessee and who's ahead of you? Tennessee and another team going head to head that's in front of you. Jacksonville, going head to head. So this is, I know Sam brought this up. That's such a Browns thing to do. This would be a Browns thing to do. You win this game, and then obviously one of those teams has to lose. So you still lose playoff position because you decided to win a meaningless game down against Miami. That would suck. I think this will push them up to between 3 and 4 if they lose in Tennessee or Jacksonville loses, which one of them should lose because they're going against each other. Even a tie gives them a better record as far as drafting position is concerned. And Tennessee is important because I think Tennessee would want to draft a quarterback. So if you're looking at drafting a quarterback, which I have my opinion on that, you have to get above Tennessee because I think if you want a quarterback, the top 3 pick is what you need. If you want either I think Cam works. I think Sanders would be going first. But that's just me, just my
I don't
opinion.
want anybody in this draft class. Wait till next year. If you're going to pick up anybody in the draft, pick up a Lar, man. That's
yeah, I think this draft class, quarterback class, ain't really shining for me at all to begin with. So, like I said, we seem like we're all kind of on the same page as far as like a draft class goes, our drafting position and what we should get, shouldn't get. It'll be playing out. It'll play out.
So if you're there at 3, 4, and there's a quarterback there, were you willing to trade back with a different team that wants that quarterback?
No.
So if you're at 4, you're going to pick best player on your board.
You're going to have to, and hopefully that's a left tackle. I mean,
left tackle would be often, yeah, you would get the guy from Texas. I think he's one of the best right now. I know a lot of people like the LSU guy, but I've been reading that guy from Texas is good. I even like Abdul Carter. I think pairing him and Miles up would be great for your defense. But
I'll go a different route too, real quick too. If something like that was to happen, Angel, I wouldn't mind going after a good running back at that spot if that was to happen. That might be a great option for you there.
That would be tempting if you can get Genty at that would be. I brought that. I would love to pair him and Chubb and Ford up all three. That'd be a 3-headed monster.
There's some options. There's some options there.
But that I think that would be a greedy pick because I think this team has other needs. And speaking of other needs, we're going to talk about the offensive line because I think that's one of the biggest needs that people are ignoring because they keep on talking about 2 quarterbacks who may not be good here. They may be good elsewhere, but in this organization, I think we need to build up some pieces. And Mike is always the guy that says you build in and then go out, and in meaning the offensive line. My question to you guys is, do the Browns really have an offensive line issue, or do they have a scheme issue?
A little bit of both. More of the offensive line issue. The scheme issue, I'll say, is because I said it again. Deshaun Watson came in here saying we're going to be a passing team, and that's what Ken Dorsey wants to do is be a passing team. So you're going to set this lineup for a pass, not to create holes for a running back. So everybody that's complaining about a running back right now, we are capable of doing it. Other teams are capable of doing it, but I think we're so set up on a pass scheme right now as that's what's ruining it for our line. That's where you go from being heavy run to heavy pass.
Yeah.
And injury.
I agree with that. Ken said DTR super athletic, maybe a position change is needed. Measurables are like Stephon Diggs. He agreed with our draft class quarterback draft class as being meh. And he's screaming for Genty also. He said you can fix the offensive line via free agent. Now that you have money, you probably can do that. I just would like to get a little younger there.
Well, and Jedrick Wills his contract's up, so
yeah.
One less thing we got to worry about. Thank you.
Yes. Speaking of Jedrick Wills, so the Browns had. Let's talk about this offensive line real quick. Then I'll get into Jedrick Wills. According to ESPN, pass block win rate, which is PBWR, to measure how often offensive line can sustain its block for at least 2.5 seconds. The Browns have achieved a pass block win rate of 47% of the time. Okay. Side note, Jedrick Wills has allowed a pressure rate of 9.5, placing him 33rd out of 35 left tackles. So
you're telling me his pull-out game is strong?
Yeah. He was not a good this year, at least. He was not a good pass blocker. Now, the reason why I'm saying pass blocking currently is because what Mike just hit on. We were pass blocking first as opposed to run blocking as the years before. And we drew up metrics on our Facebook page where we have each year have how we've the rate run pass rate has favored pass each year, and this year is like 60-40 pass per
I
run
have that
ratio.
up here. But go ahead and keep talking. I'll get it.
But so how does the rest of the guys in the offensive line stack up as far as pass block rate? I've seen some encouraging things here, and that's why I'm going to side with. I think we're okay at the offensive outside of age. I do think we need to get younger. But the top guys that play every week, I need to do every offensive lineman because I don't think there's enough statistic there for the other guys. So again, the pass block win rate is if the offensive lineman can hold their blocker for at least 2.5 seconds, and that's crucial. And I explain why 2.5 seconds is important later when we talk about quarterbacks. First one, Conklin has achieved 80% success rate when placing him amongst league's top offensive tackles. He's 80% win rate when blocking. Encouraging for Conklin because, and I think that's why when we saw a different quarterback in there outside of DTR or Watson, he looked better. That quarterback looked really good because Conklin's starting to get healthier. So we're starting to see how valuable Conklin is on the offensive line, though he's on the team for another 2 years, by the way, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yep.
Stays healthy. That'd be great.
Yeah, Batonio has an 89.79 win rate pass blocking, which you expect that from him because, I mean, he's hopefully a Hall of Famer. Posick has a 91.7 win rate.
Beast.
Teller has a 91.34 win rate. See, so, and obviously Ifedi is our issue.
So here you pretty much just hit the nail on the head, just what you have said. So we still have to see if Batonio is going to come back, okay? Because that is on all our minds, okay? But you just said Teller, Posick, you went down. Them guys are still playing stellar, okay? We get Jawan Jones back. I still like Jawan. Hopefully comes back from his injury good. So, and you said young. How do you get young? You draft it. So definitely I would say offensive lineman, younger guy up in there, maybe a couple of them, and you start building with that. That helps out sometimes you need to put some new barriers up when you're building your house. You live on a street that ends, and everybody's always crashing in your garage. Well, it's time to build a couple barriers up so they stop doing that. It starts with young talent. The other guys that we got, they're still putting up great numbers. You just said it. So my big thing is let's get draft class O-line guys, get some young meat in here. Dogs need to eat. We need to block. We need to be able to achieve that again. And that's both within passing and run game. So
right. Our run to pass ratio in 2020 was 49. Run was 49.7. Pass was 53 or 50.3. I'm sorry. 21 was 49.3. Pass was 50.7. 22 run was 49.6. Pass was 50.4. 23 run 45.4. Pass was 54.6. Since Ken Dorsey's come in, we run the ball 37% of the time, pass 63% of the time. And that's Ken Dorsey's motto. Like, he did it to Buffalo, and he's doing it here. And granted, you don't have Nick Chubb the whole year, and he's coming off a big injury, but you still do have Jerome Ford that can run the ball.
Yeah. See, I agree with Ken. He said that offensive line will look with a all new quarterback room, clear it out. I think this offensive line will look better. And what Mike said before all this is that I don't think the scheme is fitting what this offensive line can do. I think what this offensive, and I mean, let me bring up Ifedi's number. Sorry, that's what's killing you right now on offensive line. He has a 41.3% win rate, which is just bad. But that's the issue. When you don't have enough offensive linemen, good offensive linemen, you're relying on some people like that who are just okay to block your quarterback for your quarterback. So I think what was working is what Mike just said the last 4 years outside of this year is that ratio. And I thought thought it was interesting because that ratio was a lot closer than I thought. I thought we were passing a lot more than we were running even then. I just knew we were passing a lot more then, but I didn't know it was that close. And because a lot of people would say, why aren't we running the ball? We have Chubb. Why aren't we running the ball? We have Chubb. But we were running the ball. It was a lot closer than I thought. So I agree. I think it's a scheme issue. I think our offensive alignment is good enough to block still. Obviously, you get younger, like Sam said. You have to get younger if you're going to screw yourself again.
Like you're going to have in there. I mean, I wouldn't want.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play him this year, but we had no choice.
Yeah.
Well, too, with Batonio being up in the air. You mean, what if this guy goes, I'm going to go ahead and retire this year? You have to get some newer offensive line guys in there because guys are coming of age.
Do you know why the left tackle position is so important on this team? What hand do all of our quarterbacks throw with?
Right.
That's their blind side.
Yeah.
That's important. That's why we're getting sacked so much. You're letting these guys in on his blind side. He doesn't know what's going on.
Doesn't. Yeah. And then you have the inconsistency at quarterback. So I think you would have a better line if they knew if they were playing with the quarterback, if they know the quarterback's tendencies, if he tends to go right or left, or if he tries to scramble a certain way. I think that all helps because it kind of gets into habit, and habit there's a culture, and culture is winning, right? So, yeah, I agree. I think offensive line is good. Now, I don't think it's horrible. We need to get younger, obviously. So why is the 2.5 number important? I'll tell you what. Release rate. The average along the NFL is they want you to get the ball at 2.5 seconds. Deshaun Watson's release rate 3.5 seconds. 3.05 seconds. That's huge. And we could see why he was taking a lot of sacks. Maybe a lot of that was because he's outside the pocket. A lot of that's because he couldn't see downfield. It doesn't matter. Either way, it was 3.5 seconds. Now, as an analytic person, I'm not an analytic person. This is basic numbers you can look up on the internet yourself. If you now look at the analytic people who are running your organization, they see these numbers. They're not stupid. They're probably seeing even deeper numbers. They have numbers they probably we don't even know that are numbers that are going to come out in 5 years. And we're going to be like, oh, now this is what we're going to look at players. So they're probably even diving deeper, and they're seeing, man, he's not getting ball out quick. If we're going to have this type of offense, and the sad part is we changed everything up for this dude, and he's not even getting the ball out. And at the rate that we need to get the ball out, we switch our offensive line, we switch our scheme, we're running less to throw more, and this dude can't even throw fast enough.
We rolled out the red carpet for a piece of garbage. That's
you said carpet and garbage.
You rolled out the royal red carpet for this guy, and he comes in there looking like a garbage can.
Exactly.
I mean, they did everything for him. I mean, you can't say that they didn't. They did everything for him. They did the best they could, and it wasn't the production that worked.
Yeah. It wasn't, and that ranks him 54th amongst quarterbacks in this metric. 54. Crazy.
Pre-snap penalties need to stop as well.
That does hurt. Yeah.
There's a lot of other things too. I mean, like Mike, you just touched on it with these pre-snap penalties were choking us. Okay, this year, but on the defensive side of the ball, this missed tackling has been atrocious this year.
Horrible.
You combine all that together as a team, man. There's some of your problems right there.
I think they're bottom 5. Oh, well, depending on how you want to say it, top 5 in missed tackles or bottom 5 as far as tackling in the league. And that is something that I felt we were better at last year, and we progressively got worse this year. Pre-snap penalties, a lot worse this year than we were last year. And even Ken said it, like, we're still reaming from those injuries early on. Like, all the people that are getting healthy now, they seem to have their game legs, but it's too late because we have to tank, so don't win. One more thing. Jameis Winston's average throw in the pocket was 2.67 seconds. So you did see a quicker run offense because of that. Think about how as a 0.4 tenths of a second is important in the NFL because it determines whether you can hit the open receiver if that cornerback is going to cover him in that amount of time. So that shows you why Jameis was better. Though he was not hitting the receiver, sometimes he was hitting the other guys. Like Mike said, he scored 14 points for the other team by throwing pick sixes. But either way, that's the problem. So if we get a quarterback that could throw the ball within that time frame, and you get this offensive line can block long enough to obviously allow plays to happen downfield. They just have to see it, which brings us to our point. We don't need a quarterback. We need an offensive lineman, or we need a stud running back, somebody to. I think we're pretty good there.
Hear a fun stat real quick.
Yes.
The Browns recorded 12 missed tackles in the Saints game. That ties for the third most missed tackles ever recorded in one game.
Yes.
Third. 12 missed tackles. Saints. I'm trying to remember that game. It's been a long season. That game it was a couple of weeks ago.
That's like
wow.
That right there is just like running through the stall when you're hitting the subway or whatever. Just boom, boom, just running right through all that, man. It's
wow.
12 missed tackles. That's
a lot. It adds
crazy.
up. I think we're like 70 something missed tackles. I'm trying to find it, but
yeah, I thought I heard on the radio that they were like bottom 5 in the league in tackling. In tackling this year, which is because they're bringing up Jim Schwartz. Is he good enough to come back? And obviously you should bring him back because I think the defense has been playing better recently, which is encouraging to see because they haven't given up on that side of the ball. Now you could probably say Miles, his leadership is a tribute to that, but and like who's the leader on offense? Like there's just so many. Like you don't have Chubb in there no more. Winston's not your starter. Like who's your? That's what. Like you have to have a leader on offense, man. That's why having a veteran quarterback like Flacco was such a breath of fresh air because it's like he had the locker room. Like even Winston, though he kept on throwing picks, he had that locker room playing, motivated. Like that's what we need here. And that's why I'm hoping that they make the right move this offseason and get somebody like a Cousins. I'll be okay with the Cousins for a year. We might go 8-9, 9-8, barely make the playoffs.
Not making any bold predictions right now.
I'm just saying, like I think a good, capable quarterback this year would have made you 9-8, 8-9, and you would be at least flirting with the playoff currently, as opposed to worrying about the Browns picking the wrong quarterback. And it just stinks again. That it's like the theme of the Browns. We're just a quarterback away every year. It's just annoying.
It's been that way since '99.
The bummer is Jameis can be good, and he's got he builds morale for this team, and he did that, and you watched it. But he prayed for the pick sixes to be gone, and they got worse. But then he just threw 3 interceptions more.
Yes.
So,
yes, it's like it sucks, man. It's just like, and that's the type of guy you kind of want that type of guy as your quarterback, but without the picks. And you just can't have that with him. He's just who he is, unfortunately.
I've seen something too. I believe that if I heard it right, you guys might be able to check me on it. But like let's say, I don't know. Well, because Winston would probably come in, but they were talking about there's 2 games left if there would be a Zappy appearance. And that would be quarterback 40, I believe. They were like, 40, are we going to see 40 before the season ends? Or who's going to be 40? Or will we see it next season? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was just like 40. Dude.
Since 99, too. That's even worse.
Go look at the other teams. I know they ain't got 40. There are probably maybe a couple that are close, maybe. But we have to lead that. We have to.
Oh, yeah.
We've got that.
I think that's 2-3 quarterbacks.
That's one goal we got. Jeez, man. So who's
happy to see Zappy? Oh, happy Zappy.
Happy Zappy.
Hey, at this point in the time, hey man, let me just skip. Let me see anything, man. Let me see my last 2 games of some Browns football this season. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. Let's hey man, let's throw another one in there. Hey, welcome 40. How you doing? Might be for one game, but hey, how you doing?
I mean, I know DTR has a bum shoulder, so we might still see him if he continues to hurt that shoulder.
That's it, just a bum shoulder.
Well, that and talent.
We're gonna put you on the IR for talent loss.
I'm sorry, it's his calf. He hurt his calf. Right now, unfortunately.
You're built like a straw. I expect that to happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and thank you for bringing it up because it totally reminded me. He's like his build, man. Like he's me, what 5'10", 170 pounds. Like I can't imagine playing quarterback.
Yeah, when you got a defensive tackles coming at you, man. Those dudes are buildings. They're getting ready to fall on you. And then when he gets spooky when he tries to make more happen, he runs to that outside. And I'm just seeing the linebackers coming in. I'm like
ready to eat. Like, I'm about to eat this dude up.
Like I just see him getting hit and like just crumbling into pieces. Like, well, they broke the brittle. They broke the peanut brittle. They done broke the peanut brittle on the sideline. We're gonna need a broom and a dustpan. DTR's down. He just turned to dust.
It's it reminds me. Have you guys ever seen Shrek? And when the gingerbread guy, his leg gets broken off.
Yeah, right.
When you said that,
that's a good one.
When you said that, that's what I imagined was the gingerbread's leg getting crumbled off. Oh man, I hate to say that. Like I like DTR. He's probably a great guy. I just not watch him come in and throw for like 400 yards and 5 touchdowns against Miami and win the game.
Never gonna happen.
And give people false hope.
He can't throw past 15 yards.
15 yards. And that's the thing that you guys probably talked about it on Tuesday. What was concerning to me is like you have Judy only 3 targets, 2 receptions.
2 targets. I thought that was it.
2
receptions.
That's insane. Like you at least force it, man. At some point, at least fake it till you make it. You know what I mean? Like who cares? Like you have to get that guy in. And that's what it was so encouraging to see him get that 1,000 before he got in, because I don't think he would have gotten it. Even if he was like 100 yards away, he probably wouldn't have gotten it, which sucks. But good to see him at least still playing, because he could give up and say, "Hey, this team sucks right now. Let me fake an injury." So on to 5 good questions. I think we kind of addressed this one, but just in case someone has a different answer. Other than quarterback, what is the one move the Browns need to do to be better next year?
I'll say 1. If JOK is not coming back, I'd like to get somebody in there to cover. I you have to.
Yeah.
That'd be my one fill spot, I guess.
Mine's like we talked about it. Offensive line, we got to get that structure. Mike talks about it a lot. That's where the game starts. That's your structure. That's your roof. Your roof protects all your valuables inside your building. So that's mine. Offensive line.
For me, I just want to be greedy, and I would love to finally give Miles another legit pass rush on the side of him, because I want to see what Miles has to do without being triple teamed. And sometimes triple teamed and chipped twice before he gets to the quarterback. And he still gets to the quarterback, even though all that's going on, or poked in the eye. I would like to see them get a legit pass rusher that's not, that's just a beast. And that's why I like Abdul Carter. I think if you get someone young enough, when Miles is ready to retire, or if he does want to trade, whatever happens, you have his next in line right next to him, and they're blowing it up, man. You can have these 2 guys just blowing up the quarterback every freaking play, and teams have to prepare for that. So the quarterback knows I got to get rid of this ball quicker than 2.5 seconds, because I can't chip Miles and block his eye out anymore because I got this other guy coming.
Yeah,
that's just my question.
Absolutely.
Sean said new coach and GM.
All right, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Sam. What's that? Who you said Sam said that?
No, Sean.
Sean.
Sean. Oh,
dang, he's about to go off on you, Sam. Do it.
That's what I was like. Wait, that's two Sams on the show. That has to be a record. 2 Sams. No, you don't do that. Listen, okay, I'll get into it. You do not change your GM right now for multiple. See, Mike, I was drowning earlier. Now I haven't been fixed since. The reason why you don't fix your GM now, I have a question for you, Mike. If your kid, you two kids, if they share a room hypothetically, and one kid makes the mess, are you going to force the other kid to clean that room?
No.
No. What are you going to do? You're going to say, I'll give you an example. I have two daughters. My oldest daughter is sometimes a little messier. Am I going to have my youngest daughter clean up this older daughter's messier room? No. Why? It's not fair for my younger daughter, right? So is it fair to bring in a new GM and say, hey, listen, we made a huge mess with our previous GM, clean it up? No, you know what's going to happen? That GM now has to account for this other GM's mistake. So while instead of preparing a team to be better, he has to make a team to be average first, right? And guess what? Because the team is average in 3 years, we're going to blame that GM for being average, though it was not his fault because he was just fixing the other GM's fault issues, right? So now we're changing GMs again, and guess what's going to happen? That GM is just going to make an average team good, and we're not patient enough to have good. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, no, you keep Barry around. You want to punish Barry? You say, listen, you made a mistake. You're going to clean it. And if we get rid of you after you clean it, great. But first, I need this mess cleaned before we do anything else. So before we fire a GM, before we fire any coaches, let him fix this mess of a money situation he's going in, whether he has to launder money, whatever he's currently doing, let him continue to do it, because you cannot put another GM in a position where he has to keep on pushing money back. And by the way, this is Barry's strength. You want to argue the fact that he's not a good drafter? You have an argument there. If you want to sit there and say he's not a good talent evaluator, maybe you have an argument there. But one thing he is good at, he is want another GM to come in here and fix up another man's mess. Who's going to do it? Who's going to sit there and say the Browns have a history of not being patient for one? And you want me to fix this mess in 2 to 3 years, and you want me to win in 2 to 3 years while I'm in salary cap hell. No GM is going to want to do that, right? Or am I wrong? Or am I just being dramatic?
Keep on preaching, dude. I'm loving this.
No, that's I get what you're saying. It's like, hey, man, do you want a job? What's the first thing I do? I got to run into a burning building naked. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. I get what you're saying with Barry. Nobody wants to come here and try to clean up
Dorsey's.
The Dorsey's. I'll go back what Sean said. I mean, we're not talking about. I'm not talking about Stefanski. I'm not talking about Barry. There are coaches that have to go. Okay,
exactly.
And I'm going to say it right now. Dorsey, fucking gone. Bye, buddy. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Boom, gone. Now, do we make maybe some other? I'll say special teams coach. Probably on the chopping block. I'm going to go ahead and say maybe we have to look at and see if we need to get another offensive lineman coach to help out there better. If we're going to be getting this new talent, is the guy that we got going to help these new guys out after you've seen what he did this year? I know it's only been a year, but if you're going to start building that's something else you got to look at. So there are coaches that are going to be on the chopping block, but it's not going to be the ones that you're probably thinking about. So there's
exactly. Exactly. And Ken McDonald agrees. He said, what GM would come to this mess? No one is going to come to this mess.
Nobody wants to run into a burning building naked, bro. That's what I'm saying.
And Sean, he said that Barry's wasn't qualified for this position. I'm going to let you know right now. You may say that Barry's not qualified for this position, but there are higher men smarter than me and you that are saying that if Barry and Kevin are fired, they will be hired on different teams within a second. And they said if they fire Barry and Kevin, or Barry or Kevin, that is a total Browns thing to do. I'm sorry. You are wrong. We have a good GM. Now, he is young. He's got to learn on the job. As Sean, every time you make a mistake on the job when you were young, did you expect to get fired? No, you learned from it. I think that Barry... Also, too, Barry has had a short hand here. You're asking him to pick second, third, fourth, fifth round picks. Those, not all GMs hit on those, right? Or am I wrong? Bill Belichick, which you guys were begging to come here, has not drafted anyone since. That's why he's not in the league right now, because he hasn't drafted anyone since Tom Brady correctly. Okay. So let's get off this whole, not every GM's going to hit every pick. I give Barry a couple more years with the number one pick. I'm more worried about player development. Let's see what they do with that. Mike Hall is developing well. He was a second-round pick. Reed is developing well. He was a Barry pick. So let's in the offseason, we're going to go over draft. We're going over Barry's picks, and you guys are going to see that maybe we need to give this guy a couple more years with the higher draft picks.
A- or a B at the end of last year?
And the beginning of this year, we graded him like a B minus. So,
Sean, one move that you make on a whim doesn't involve
and
your
by the way,
career.
By the way,
sucks, but yes.
I would let you know right now, if they didn't sign Watson and he was to be bowling out in Atlanta or Carolina, which are the two teams that were leading to get him, the fans would be opposite right now. They would say, we could have had him. Why didn't the Browns pay him? Yeah, oh my God. The Browns, Jimmy Haslam sucks, man. Oh, he's broken joke. I give him all my money. He couldn't pay Deshaun Watson this guarantee cap. Like, you guys would be opposite. Hindsight's 2020, bro. Like, we can all be pissed right now because of what's happening with Deshaun Watson. Because it's hindsight. Like, I get it. Be mad, but don't sit there and say, well, David Bell has been injured, bro. Like, I think David Bell's a good possession receiver. And Cade York is doing pretty well right now at Cincinnati. He beat you last week, bro. Come on.
There's a band that's called Red Rider. They have a song. It's a classic rock song. It's called Lunatic Fringe. All right. Now, I would like to take that song and have our fans, some of these fans are lunatics, okay? And it'd be lunatic fans. I know you're out there. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the stuff they come up with.
It's insane.
Bro, where are you pulling this from? I mean,
as a
lunatic fans.
As a person who does a podcast, I'm a fan. I love the Browns, but there are times where I have to take away my fan hat and put on my logic hat. And this is where I'm talking about, like, let's be logical here. We can't sit there and if you want to say, well, there's a lot of red flags with Deshaun Watson with his legal issues, I 100% agree with you. But this guy was talented in Houston. And the reason why they gave him all that money is because they saw the talent he had in Houston. It's not because they thought, oh, he's going to suck. Let's give him this money. And other teams were pining for him. Carolina, Atlanta, Miami. The year before that, no one's talking about this, by the way. Miami was going to trade for him, but he nixed it because he didn't want to be in Miami for some reason that hasn't been out yet. So there are other teams pining for him. So don't sit there and just say the Browns suck. There are other 5 to 10 teams that wanted the same quarterback. And it could have been a totally different outlook if Jimmy, my opinion, if Jimmy or Paul DeBodessa would have said, let's not give him the guarantee money. Don't put the guarantee money on Andrew Berry. Put it on the people above him, because I'm going to let you know I'm married, okay? When I want to buy some, who do I communicate with? I communicate with my wife. Okay, you want to know why? Because there's a structure in my marriage that says I need to know what's going out and what's coming in. Barry's not just going to spend money without having permission from someone who owns the business. So don't put that on Barry. Put that on the owner.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm the opposite. I get yelled at for making purchases. I just come home with them.
Well, I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to sound non-manly. No. What do you guys got? Man with beards and you have to have your wife run the run house? Yes, we do. And we're happy for it.
Mike's getting yelled at. She's like, more beard oil and bullets. What are you doing? Wow, Mike, come on. Yeah. Beard oil and bullets. Hey, we make a song called Beard Oil and Bullets, man.
I'm down.
Intro song.
I want to hit this comment from Guru. Tom Brady was basically a winning lottery ticket. Can't really even give Belichick credit for that because
I just said that.
Never got hurt. Oh, you did read that already?
No, I said that was my point.
Yeah, if Drew Bledsoe never got hurt, we would have never known Brady's name. And that's a risk you take. The only downfall of Andrew Berry's selections, I think, so far was picking up Cade York in the 4th round of a draft. You don't.
Yeah, that was high.
That was the only downfall.
Yeah, you never do that.
It's a lottery every single time. Like we say every other time, the NFL is way faster paced, much harder. It's the elite of the world. That's the NFL.
Sean, 6 picks that weren't starters because they're 3rd, 4th round picks. Normal 3rd, 4th round picks, 5th round picks, 6th round picks are not starters. They're backups in the league. Come on, use your logic. On to the next question. Other than Chubb, who do the Browns need to sign back next year?
Sign back.
Yeah. See, that's a trick question because you would have to. you would have to go into who's a free agent next year, and I pulled that up for you. Hold on a second. Obviously, we're not doing Hines because that dude's nowhere. Foreman, Moore.
Elijah Moore. I would take Elijah Moore.
I think that's consensus. Moore, tight. David has 2 more years. Akins is a free agent. Say it.
You need Akins. You need.
Yes. I think you need a backup tight end, and we've seen that because David Njoku and actually Barry Shuck brought that up this past year in our before the season show when we were talking. He said David's good, but he's never healthy. So who's your backup tight end? And I think Adkins has proven that he can fill in for him. Now he's not a better talent, obviously, but he's a backup for a reason.
He catches wide open balls.
Yeah. So this is Mike's favorite player, Jed Wills. He's a unrestricted free agent.
See a GTFO. Bye. Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you.
You know what? They need to have all these guys in a room, and they need, like, you got the claw machine where you go get the stuffed animal and you just put it in there, and then you just grab them up. You're out. Wills. Boom. Gone. Yeah, gone. You got to go. You're out. I would like to see Elijah Moore come back. I'd like to see Joe Patonio come back. There's some guys that I want to see come back. We can talk about it.
I'll give you a different person, Devin Bush, because I agree with you with Elijah Moore, but I think Devin Bush has quietly had a good backup, not a starter, for what he's been asked to do a good year. And if Chad was here, he would give you his PFF scores. That's how good he was. Like, his PFF scores have been good this year. Now that you can't contribute everything to that, but there's a story there with the PFF scores where I think Devin Bush, I would sign him back in another 2 years, 3 years, because I think he's been a good sub in for JOK.
I want to say something really quick. So you said Chad would be out here like shouting out PFS scores, and I'll never forget the one show before Sam started joining us regularly. He was just like, "Man, tell that nerd to shut up." Oh, he's numbers, man. He's like, nobody cares.
Yeah. No, I got mad love for Chad. I love what he brings your guys' show. It was just that one show, though, man. If you want to touch on it, man. But we would want to hear, "We'll be back after these messages." And it just seemed like it was like a 10-minute PFF thing.
Yeah, we learned from that.
My brain just couldn't handle numbers that much.
I'm the same way. I think numbers are good in context. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
Hit him quick and get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Hit him quick with the numbers and pull out of it. So
Drew says, I would say Foreman on a 1-year deal just for depth, and because we still haven't really even seen the dude play because we keep going strong for some unknown reasons.
That's a good take. I guess that's a good perspective. I respect that. Next question.
But I want to see more Pierre Strong. Like I do. I want to see him out there for like an entire game.
There's something going on where I feel like he can average 4 or 5 a possession, but I don't know. This year's been wonky with the running game. I think they totally abandoned it, and it kind of screwed everything up.
You know who I want to see come back? Stump Mitchell.
Yeah.
Really?
Give me Stump back. He seemed like he gelled with them guys, man. I watched him and Kareem did not get along. I watched some stuff. Them dudes were butting heads. And
that's why Kareem didn't come back, actually.
Well, there was a game though. He got him settled down though. He got Kareem settled down. He's like, "Are you done? Are you ready to win a game? Are we going to do this?" And he came back up to Stump later. He goes, "You know what, Stump? All day, baby. I got you. I'm with you." He kind of apologized to him, and that's the stuff we need. We need them kind of guys back here.
Yeah, I think I meant to say Kevin, not Stump. I'm sorry. Him and Kevin didn't. I read. Now I don't know if this is true, but him and Kevin didn't get along. That's why the organization didn't sign him back.
Yeah,
I think that was Kareem in a nutshell with everybody. So
yeah.
Well, he looks like he's probably going to get a ring though. So there's that.
I think 3-peat's gonna happen.
I mean, the way their year is going, I would say yes, because they seem to.
Mike, you already know where I stand on this. All right, I hate to say it and bring it up, but those refs can't. They're jacking them off with both hands, dude. let's go, three-peat. We're gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen. You know, I just can't Kansas City Chief no more because of the way it's dictated on the field with the calls. It drives me nuts. And to blatantly see what they're doing and how they're calling things, and go, there ain't no way they're. Yeah, oh, that's a fair game. It hasn't been fair. Them dudes would be dog shit right now without some of the calls. You know, I'll do some research. I'll go back. I will do this for the next show. I will go back and show you how them guys would probably not be where they're at right now after some bum ass calls have been called this season.
Say that for the playoff run when we talk about playoff team matchups and when we talk about Kansas City. Well, yes, do your research and we'll bring that up because I agree. I think there's some calls and it allowed them to
win games
when they were when they were hurt. Now they're getting healthy, so that's even worse because now they're not going to need those calls to win.
Right.
But next question: the Browns have the first pick, and you're the GM, and you're not getting a quarterback. Who do you? You have to get a quarterback. I'm sorry. Do you pick Sanders or Ward?
Ward.
I'm going to say Ward just because I think with Sanders, I think you're going to get with Deion. Now, I love Deion, but I think you're going to have Deion in the mix. And I think that's just going to cause chaos just because his boy's going to need this. This is how it's going to be. And, you know, it's like I think it'll be like a receiver. His daddy kept running his mouth about Baker, OBJ.
OBJ.
I think you'll have another. I think if you take Shedeur Sanders, that will be a problem down the line. I'm going to put that out there right now. Deion's going to want to have a foot in everything too. You know, and no pun intended. I mean, I like Deion. I know he got a couple toes cut off his foot, but no pun intended on that. Yeah. But I think you'll have a problem with that. Will be something that will be happening down the line if he's not getting the protection he needs. If they're not working him how he should be worked, because that's his dad. I know my son. I taught him how to play the game. Do you know who I am? I'm Deion Sanders. Do you need to go look at my film? Yeah, I think you'll run into a whole mess there, and we don't need more messes here.
Definitely don't need no more messes. I'm going to skip the question about spoiler or tank because we already know the answer to that.
I want to hit one more thing. When you're looking at a quarterback in college, they may look elite, but you also have to look at the toughness of their schedule. They could be playing cake teams all year long and look great in college, but then you come to the elite level of the NFL, and you could be crap. You could be garbage. And we've watched it happen a couple times. That's why these bigger schools get better picks.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, to be honest with you, I'm worried about Ward also because I think the ACC isn't as talented as like the Big Ten or the SEC. That's why if you want to go quarterback, you go in the second round. You get Quinn Ewers, who plays in Texas at SEC school, and his touchdown to interception ratio is good enough to have him play behind center, and you know that he's going to make the proper decision, the proper read. Now he's not going to be. Maybe not be throwing for 400, 500, 600 yards a game, but he's going to make you win the game. He's going to put you in a position to win the game. But I will say that for the draft show, because that's my take on that, suckers. Last question. It's been said. Now, Miles has brought up, by the way, Miles did not say he wanted to be traded. Let's get this right. Miles was asked a couple of series of questions, which led to him saying, I would want to be traded. Okay. So let's tread that talk back. Mary Kay asked him a question. Hey, what would get you to not want to be on this team again, basically? And he said, well, what would you get you to continue to want to be on the team? He's like, well, I have to talk to, he said, first of all, I want to be a Brown for the rest of my life, but I want to sit down and talk with an organization to see where they're going to be at quarterback and see what the vision is. Then Mary Kay comes and says, well, what if they don't meet your demands? Well, then I would want to trade. Anybody who is Myles Garrett, who is in the prime of his career, who is looking just beyond Hall of Fame, he wants to win a championship ring, what's said the same thing. So let's stop overreacting to what a news reporter pulled out of a player so strategically, because she did that well. But it's been said that Myles if Miles does get traded, that we can get 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick for him, would you do it?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Why?
He's an elite piece of this team. He's a Brown for life.
He's one of the leaders you still have here.
Yes.
True.
And that's a big thing moving forward. We talked about leadership too. I mean, he's your leadership. He's one, and that's a team leader. That's on both sides of the ball. I'm sure he talks with all those guys, and he's well respected, and he's proven himself, so he gets to have that. You know, it's part of him. And if he's got something to say, and he's not out here just running his mouth. He knows enough and played enough and has been the player he's been that they listen to him. Those are one of the guys they probably go, hey man, want to sit down and talk? We need to talk about something. What's your feeling on this or that? They take that, and that's something that you don't want to see go just for that reason. And well, you can get 2 first-round picks, and you can get that, and you can still have a shitty season. And especially it depends on what you're picking, because you still might have to groom that player. That player might not evolve for another 2 or 3 years. So we're talking about a soft rebuild. I don't think, to me, that kind of move, that's not a good direction for me.
For the record, I was just playing devil's advocate. I was just agreeing with you guys. I agree.
That wasn't even directed towards you.
I was going to say, if I want to play devil's advocate, I would say you do trade him, but the only way you do trade him is if you draft his heir apparent in this year's draft, Abdul Carter from Penn State, because he may end up as good, or I don't know, Miles is really good, so I can't compare anybody to Miles right now. Maybe as good as him. And then what you can do is set up your rest of the team with your 1st and your 3rd round picks. But I agree with you. You don't get rid of a culture player like that. Somebody who is keeping the defense in check, I believe, who is a leader vocally and playing on field. And by the way, he's getting triple teamed and chipped and still getting to the quarterback. So you don't get rid of that.
He's respected. He's respected throughout.
He is, and that's the difference between him and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb doesn't talk at all. Myles Garrett gets up on the podium and says a few things after asks a few stupid questions, and he tells them how he feels. Unlike Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb's staying here. He wants to be here in Cleveland. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, Myles Garrett is not. Or unfortunately, Myles Garrett, I don't think is going anywhere. It's all reckless speculation and something to keep the Browns talk going. That's all it is. It's the dude's a partial owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's sunk his heart and soul into this city as a Browns player. He's elite. He's staying.
Yeah.
I'll pay him. I'll give him my salary. I don't care. Not that it means anything to him. He makes that probably a minute, but
Miles, you will have free toes for the rest of your life.
Free forever.
Hey, you got a roof leak? Hit your boy up. I got you. Stay here, man. We got you.
Anything batteries, Angels got you.
Yeah, I got you. We got you for life. And by the way, the Colorado Buffaloes are in the Big 12 conference. Not too tough, in my opinion. I had to look that up because I was wondering what conference are they in, because I know they switched recently. Last question: how was you guys' Christmas? Because I didn't get to be on Tuesday's show because circumstances. But how was your Christmas?
Christmas was
Thursday's
good.
show.
Yeah, Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursday.
Christmas was good. Nice.
He's got a Browns. He's got Browns.
Brown slippers. I got a giant thing. This thing keeps your water cooled for like 280 hours.
Or bourbon warm, cool.
Keep your bourbon warm for 80 hours.
Sneak that into the game. You'll never leave.
Yeah.
You can't live here, man. You got to go, dude.
About to eat these on the show. The chocolate-covered Oreos.
Ooh, those are good.
That is how my Christmas went.
Sam?
Mine was nice and laid back. Just my wife and her son came over, and we did our gift stuff. And actually, this Sunday, I am doing Christmas again with my side of the family. And the following weekend, we are doing the in-laws thing. So I got 2 more Christmases to go. So
4 Christmases.
Hey, I tell you what, man, it's been this is like the first time where we weren't just running hustle and bustle here, spend 2 hours here, drive over here. and I like it. Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I told my sister, I said, anytime we can do this again, do it. Because it's been a lot less stressful, and just getting through the holidays, and it's been nice. So can't wait to give everybody their stuff. There's still a bunch of stuff to give out, and that's what it's about, man. How was your Christmas, buddy?
It was good. Woke up. My kids let me sleep into 8:30, which is a change because normally I'm up by 6:30, 7 o'clock. So we slept. They actually slept into 8. They got me up by 8:30. They opened up their gifts here. They were excited. And then what we do is we stay here till about 12, and then we go to Gima's for like a 12-hour present-a-thon where they just open gifts for like, well, it seems like 12 hours. It's not 12 hours, but they just take their time. So that's why it's so long. So we'll open some gifts, and then we'll eat cookies. And they made Italian meatballs that were good. I mean, it's amazing food. Kind of like what you do. We used to go all over, but now we're just like, we're staying home, and then we're going to Gima's. That's it. And that today we're going to go to my side of the family's house in Beechwood and do Christmas with my side of the family.
That's funny. You brought up Italian meatballs. We asked my wife's son what he wanted. Leave up whatever you want, man. Let us know what you want on Christmas. And he said spaghetti. So we hooked it up, man. We had spaghetti, meatballs, and spicy Italian sausage in it. It was delicious.
Yeah, they did lasagna, meatless and non-meatless for the vegans that are in the family. Meatballs. To be honest, that's all I saw. I just had I just had lasagna and meatballs. They had a lot of other stuff, but that's the stuff I was interested in. And then they had some chocolate cake from Michelangelo's. It's a bakery. I guess it's a good bakery.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. So it was fun. I got a couple of my mother-in-law got me this and this. She got me a pair of nice Reebok shoes. My wife and I got each other a gift to Disney in March. Unfortunately, more or less for the kids, but we're like, hey, we're going to Disney. Not Disney all out. We're just going to a resort, and we're just going to hang out at a Disney resort. So we decided, we don't need gifts. We give each other gifts throughout the year. And this girl right here, I don't know if you see her little blonde head. She had it's weird to get off topic here, to see your kids go from wanting toys to wanting clothes. Right. So it goes like, because you're like, oh, I'm so used to like putting stuff like, oh, they're like this store, and they're like, no, let's go. I want to go to Shein. Let me go to Shein and see what outfits they have. I'm thinking like, get out of here, bro. Like, you're still a kid. You're not going to do your wedding clothes. But it's kind of weird to see them all, because I remember one year we got our oldest clothes one year, and she was mad. But last year it was the opposite. We got her tours, and she's like, you guys didn't give me enough clothes. So we're like, crap, you're growing up now. So seeing them grow up quick is insane.
You got 2 girls, dude. You're screwed. It's going to get way worse.
Yeah.
Handle the problems.
She did. My mother-in-law did get the kids a Nintendo Switch, which, by the way, I've been enjoying myself. So it's a gift that was myself. I didn't think I would be into it. I downloaded Batman Arkham Asylum last night.
Yeah. There you go.
Trying to figure out some stuff, but it was fun. Fun Christmas. So let's close the show. Ohio State, right? They beat University of Tennessee. By the way, I was there last weekend when they beat them. And there was and they said there were 30,000 Tennessee fans down there, and I believe it. I do, because I went to their Science Center, Tennessee band. When we went to High Banks Distillery, there was Tennessee fans. When we were at a hotel, there was Tennessee fans. And it was good to see Ohio State beat them 42-17.
Thanks for bringing some revenue to Ohio. Bye.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Thanks for spending your
Ohio
money.
State was the only 10 I seen.
Yeah. That's a dad joke. That was a good dad joke. But they shouldn't even had 17. I didn't get to watch the games. Obviously, I was with my family, but I was told that there's a couple pass interference calls that they missed that Tennessee benefited from. And most of their points scored in the second quarter, and after that, they stopped them. But next up is OSU versus Oregon. Are you excited for that game?
Yeah, I am. And you know what I'm really excited about is all these Michigan fans talking crap to us like there's something. And I don't even think Michigan's the rival anymore. I think it's Oregon now. They're in a Big Ten. Boom, let's bring it. Screw Michigan, you guys. 5-7 or 7-5. I'm sorry. Yeah, you are not even in the picture. Have fun at your QualiQuest Bowl, whatever the hell that is.
enjoy your bags of Doritos while we're posting trophies.
Yeah, and
Right,
hopefully
right.
Ryan Day actually wins a natty this year, because I think if he does not win, he's gone.
Yeah, that's going to be. Yeah, I think this is a good game. You lose to them in their home by 1 point. Now this is a neutral field. Also, to the defense, this is a statistic that I read. The defense has not given Ohio State's defense has not given up more than 17 points since that game. They're averaging 17 points per game scored on them. So I think the defense comes out. They actually switched their whole defense after that Oregon game. The only issue is they did something stupid against Michigan and didn't run the offense they ran against Tennessee against Michigan, because if they would have run that same offense, then you would have been probably Big Ten champions. I think you would have beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
Drew says Oregon has quietly had a rivalry since OSU, since the Rose Bowl game in 2010. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's why they joined the Big Ten.
And now it's just escalated to further and bigger and better things than Michigan.
Yeah, well,
TTUN.
yeah.
Well, I was going to say something else. I forget, but go ahead. We can move along.
No, I'm done. That's it. That's all I have. I was going to ask the quarterback question, but we already answered that. I was going to say Cousin may be released. So you want him or do you want somebody else? But obviously, we'd take anybody at this point than what we had.
I do have a question about Cousins. If they let him go, he signed a 3-year, like $100 million deal with them. They still owe him that money.
Yeah, we would pay him hypothetically. So if it's like 30 million, we would just pay him the league minimum, which is $1 million, I do believe. We would have to pay him $1 million of that 30. So they're on the hook for 29. We would just pay $1 million, which is the vet minimum, which is what makes him appealing. Sorry. What makes him appealing is the fact that he probably can help your team win now at a rate of kind of what Russ is doing in Pittsburgh. Would you take the season in Pittsburgh next year on this team? Anyone would, right?
Yes.
Sure. Yes. Sure. They lost against Kansas City. Everyone seems to be doing that.
Well, there was a couple calls there. I mean,
Mike is like, Sam was like, I have it documented right here.
And you know what? That game. I mean, obviously, I don't want Steelers to ever win any games. So I was like, well, Casey, go ahead, do your thing. But I was watching some of that. There was a blatant catch they threw to Kansas City Mahomes. I can't remember which receiver. It was in the ground. It like a pitcher throwing to the catcher, and he's got to get down in the dirt for it, in the ground. And they're like, catch. I'm like, what the man? And it's just, I don't know. On and on. I'm gonna look into some things because
yeah, the show after next week, we'll do that Saturday show. We'll talk about, obviously, the playoff seating will be there. We'll probably talk about the playoffs, and then you can bring up your, we'll call it Sam's Conspiracy Corner.
There we go. We'll do it. We'll do it.
And then you just drop your knowledge.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be with just one loss this year. I mean, because I'm gonna go do it. We'll do it. It'll be fun.
That definitely would be a segment that we need.
I think I need to do it to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
I think Angel needs something to do too, like that, because he just showed some aggression that I've never seen from him earlier.
I just don't like people that. I mean, the solution here is always start over. But the reason why we always have to start over is because the guy that comes in always has to clean the mess of the other guy first, and we always forget that. We forget, and that I forgot it until it was brought up to me in the podcast. I'm thinking like, yeah, he's like, these GMs get fired too quick, 2-3 years into it, and they're done. And then you have another GM taking a year or two to clean up another GM's mess, and then they have a year to win or try to win a championship at that, because that's the standard. And if they don't win the championship, they're starting over. The guy was like, that's why you see people like Pittsburgh and Baltimore and all the Kansas City, even currently, they're consistent because even when they are having technically down years or even players that don't work out, they work through it, man. And I think we just need to work through it. Let's just work through it. Let's see what Barry does this year.
Yep. Yeah. We'll be having plenty of shows to talk about it as well. So
amen. But it's Saturday. I guess it's time's up. 1.5-hour show.
Yeah, it's spring in December, so I'm gonna go out in the garage and do stuff.
I'm gonna go cut the grass, joking. Bear hat on.
Yeah.
What is this guy doing?
So
Break the weed whacker out. Hey, it's only December.
December, just cutting the grass.
Yeah.
Help the
Go
grass grow.
Miami. Go Miami.
Wear your Miami jersey.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all we have. Tuesday show, we'll talk about this game. Chad will be back probably if he doesn't get stranded wherever he is.
I think he's in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago? He can get stranded there. He can get stranded. That snow there is intense, and sometimes those flights get delayed, man. You
I
can
thought you were
get
talking about the
stranded.
gang activity.
Oh no, well that too. You can get stranded there with that too. My dad lives there. I trust me. I speak for experience. But let's hope they lose this week, and let's see how high we can get in the draft pick. You guys
I'll be watching the game with you guys, man. I like chiming in with you guys during some of the games. So yeah, let's see how this Miami game goes. And
yeah, hit us up on that Discord. Let's talk about the game.
anytime that the kicker's up there, let's just wiggle jinx them.
Yeah.
Wiggle jinx. You're wiggle jinxing your own kicker's team?
Well,
yes.
You just jinxed the team by saying he's going to win the game. So now they're going to win the game.
Never thought I'd say Browns lose, please.
No, it's going to be almost 60 degrees in Cleveland. Tua is going to do two of things.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a great weekend.
All right, man.
We'll see y'all then.